Welcome back to my channel, guys. It's time for another Asahina Wakaba chapter review. While that intro took forever, and I apologize, it looks like my decoder is once again not doing its best job, but I'll fix it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. This is going to be on the whatever chapter it is. I think it's the 9th chapter of Asahina Wakaba to Marumaru na Kareshi, which is a series that I've been reviewing here quite a bit, chapter by chapter, and it's actually getting closer and closer to my heart. This was a very emotional chapter that I had to read twice before even wanting to review it. It got pretty dark, but at the same time, it was extremely cute at the end. So, before I continue, though, a few things. If you have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give some love, and go and watch more of these chapter reviews and volume reviews. I will be releasing more and more of these here for you guys to review and watch. Also, guys, we're trying to reach 4K before Christmas is here, so if you haven't done so, subscribe please. On November 15th, I'll release the next giveaway video as a thank you for you guys for being so faithful to this channel. And then lastly, guys, you guys can watch 1 through 8 if you haven't done so already in my channel. Okay, we still see Asahina and Haruto in the grocery store, and essentially Haruto's mom left, and now Asahina and Haruto are essentially making plans to do after shopping, and she's like, well, let's go to the coffee shop and let's go get some snacks from that one place we go to. And he's like, yeah, sure, let's do that. Well, Asahina ends up bumping into her sister, and essentially her sister is surprised to see her there, first of all, and secondly surprised to see her with a boy. Now, as a reader, we know that Asahina has not told her family that she is dating Haruto. So her sister first is, oh, you have a friend. I didn't know you have a friend. And then she looks at her and like, wait, is this a special boyfriend? And obviously it gets a little embarrassing for her. But what ends up happening is that Asahina's sister is with a bunch of other friends, and I guess she goes to, well, I mean, actually, it might not be just a girls' school, but she's only hanging out with girls, and they meet up with them and they start talking about them looking alike, and obviously they're twins, so they're are going to look alike. And eventually, two of these girls notice Haruto, and they're like, "Wait, is that Haruto? You know Haruto?" And they're kind of like a little freak out. And apparently, Haruto used to go to a another middle school at one point, and then transferred and graduated on the middle school that Asahina knew about. What ended up happening is a pretty tragic story. So I'm going to start the story here and let you guys know that Haruto's past was a lot worse than I expected. I knew there was something dark in his past, but it was darker than I expected. So we'll start from the beginning of his life, which is not really where they started. He actually tells her while leaving that conversation more about his life. So, but just so it can be in order, essentially this is what happens. His parents meet, and it's kind of rich mom, poor dad, and very commonly rich people don't want their daughters to be marrying down, right? So they get pregnant, they have Haruto, and essentially what happens is they get into this huge debt, and his mother's grandfather or his mother's dad says, I'll pay for the debt if you come back to our house and forget about your husband and kid. And that's basically what she does. Like, she leaves them and is able to pay this huge debt. And he does mention it's a huge debt. I don't know how huge it was, but I guess it was big enough for her to leave her husband and her son. So Haruto actually is raised with his father only, and he actually assumes that his mother is dead. So he is close and loves his father. And then we kind of get the story a lot from the middle school girls as well. And they start saying that he basically was a very gloomy, very serious kid, didn't really mess with anyone, and because of it, he was bullied. So at that moment, Asahina immediately can compare herself to him, like, wait, that's me right now. Essentially, he got defended by so a few people, but he still got bullied. And what ended up happening one of these days that he was bullied, he got pushed down the stairs and he fell and hit his head. Because of that, even though he didn't have a broken bone, they rushed him to the hospital just to see that, make sure everything was okay. His father, loving his son so dearly, runs and rushes from his work and ends up getting to an accident and dying instantly. Haruto then blames himself and says it's my fault completely. And essentially, the girls say we just lose track of him. He changed his number. He changed all his contact information. He moved, and we lost track of him. We don't know where he was. He just transferred out of the school. So, what ended up happening, because we get Haruto's side of the story eventually, is that his mother actually showed up in his life after the funeral, and his sister Mifuyu, who actually is his half sister, also showed up in his life, and essentially they take him in, and now he's living with them, right? So they're having a good life essentially now. It's been 2 years since that happened, so obviously it's still fresh. And throughout the entire chapter, Asahina kind of has a bunch of flashbacks. Like, one, she notices that every time that Haruto would mention his dad, he always mentioned him in past tense. She never noticed it until now. I mean, I never noticed that until now. She also mentions how he would always make a comment about her talking too much about her family. And it was never like a bad comment, but it was like, I love how you talk about your family so much. So she feels bad about it because she thinks, well, maybe I made him feel bad about it. And then she goes and thinks about different other scenarios that basically made him feel uncomfortable. One of them, which is very special, is when they first saw dad and the one little boy that he protected at one point leave. How she remembers seeing him sad because they were leaving, and her not understanding why he had that face. Well, now she knows, because that relationship that the little boy had with his dad is basically what he had with his dad. And now we know that Haruto actually has a kind of cruel past, and because of that, he decided to just enjoy life. Um, at the end of the chapter, basically, they walk home, they talk about more, we get all these details about his parents, and Asahina promises him that she is gonna, no, she's just gonna be there for him. And Haruto says that he has this one dream for his mom because there is something that she was never able to do, and that is hold a baby. Which I didn't really understand that part because Mifuyu is his sister, so she did have a chance to hold Mifuyu. But anyways, his dream is to have a kid. That way, his mother can hold the kid as much as possible. So maybe he means a baby boy. I don't know. That is the ninth chapter. At the end, they talk about, yeah, we want to do that, and she talks about, I forgot about this part. She talks about, in her own self, she talks about how things have changed and how she sees him so differently, even though he's still the same guy that she met so many weeks ago, months ago. And then she finally confesses to herself that she's in love with him. After that, she basically gives him this reward for her being so unconscious about all this other stuff and being mean unconsciously. So she gives him a kiss on the cheek. So 2 successes. We finally see Asahina Wakaba admit to herself that she loves him, and secondly, she's moving on with the relationship. Right now, all this is so happy and it's so kind, and I just know chapter 10 is gonna ruin it because we know as a reader that this relationship became a relationship through lies, through Asahina being forced to be with him. So I'm very interested to see what happens in the next chapter. It actually released this morning, but I'll probably won't review it until tomorrow. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this. If you have not read this, you can find it online. It's kind of hard to find stuff now online, but you can still find this one online. Thank you for your love and support. If you want to further support the channel, you guys can always follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Twitter. Those are all the three places I am going to be more active now. So follow me there. You can also join the Discord, and I also once in a while I jump in and just chat with people there. So if you haven't done so, add yourself to the Discord, and you guys can talk to each other as well about anime and manga. Thank you for your love and support. Show some love by liking and sharing. And guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.